Hello, Carl. Thanks for coming on. We're going to start off talking about West Ham's road to Prague and obviously the final win that you was at. You won every game apart from one, from the playoff all the way to the final, and the one you didn't win, you only drew 1-1 with Ghent away.
Yes.
At what point in that run did you and the West Ham fans start believing we're going to win this, or did you not think that until you'd won it?
Well, from obviously getting to the semi-finals prior in the Europa the year before, going into the conference, we did actually think that there was a chance with the teams that you could see that were in it. As soon as we got through the group stages, that's when you start believing a little bit more, and then when the draw comes out and you get was it the Larnaca, and then you've got the final eight, haven't you? So there's always belief there, like any team would have. You always believe, didn't you, in your own team. And like I say, getting to the semi-final last year, and realistically, we should have done better in the semi-final last year.
You should have won that.
Yeah, we should have won it.
Yeah.
It was one of them things, but I think we bounced back from that. Saw an opportunity to go one step further. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think maybe because you lost in the semi-final, that probably helped you this year.
I think it did.
Get it through. It's like you don't want that again.
No,
you don't
100%.
want to lose that again.
But I think it's actually tougher. When you've got opponents that some of us would never even heard of. You look at the conference, some of the teams in the conference, I wouldn't even have a clue where they're from or whatever.
But is that a good thing sometimes?
Would it? Yeah.
Sometimes it's not though, isn't it? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're relying on your managers to pick a good team. You're relying on your players to perform. And there was a couple of games that I remember watching, and I'm thinking, blimey, we play a good team, we're in trouble here. You know what I mean? Or a half decent side. I think it was early doors. It might have been Silkeborg. I think they might have scored first. And I was thinking, is that correct?
I don't know. I don't know if they scored first. I got
score?
the result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was them. They scored first. I'm thinking, blimey. And then we put ourselves under pressure massively. And I'm thinking, these teams have got nothing to lose. We're the eyes of that cup. So we shouldn't be messing around with it. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Essentially, with teams, that type of team that you're talking about that was in your group stage, you can do all the scouting in the world around them teams, but you're not going to know too much about them because of where they're playing, the leagues. So it's always going to be a bit more difficult than playing like an English club or a bigger European team, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, and also stats on people straight down to the National League. You can with players, you can find stats and stuff like that. Stats abroad, okay, they've probably got the technology and the intel to actually get the stats on each player and the way that they play, and they can watch all of this. But I think it'd be a little bit more difficult abroad than it would be what you can do in England.
Yeah, but I think what Carl's trying to say, even if you've got the stats, it's hard to compare them to the same stats as the Premier League.
Oh no, 100%.
He scored 25 goals this year, but it's in whatever league it's in. So it's hard to compare even with the stats and the information.
When it's teams that you're not familiar with as well as a player, I'm sure you're going to get surprised a little bit more from these smaller teams, the players you don't really know too much about, even though you scout them. But
I think it's grounds as well. I think one of them games was on a 3G pitch.
Oh really?
You know what I mean? And it's that's testing straight away.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a lot different to what you're actually used to if you play on grass every
that.
single week. But then you also, in regards to a team that you don't know much about, you can always, you never know what sort of team's going to turn up that day. In a sense, I've always said it, any team can beat any team on any day.
I agree.
It doesn't matter.
I agree with you. 100%.
there's always a risk as well when you are a bigger team and you're playing a smaller team that they can take it a little bit easy. Do you know what I mean? And then they get that initial shock of the first goal going in.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and then they think,
Exactly.
right, okay.
Was it AZ Alkmaar I watched, and they played really well against you
It was the first
at
half.
your ground? Was it first half at your ground, or maybe at their ground?
It
Then
was their-
possibly.
yeah,
And they looked decent. They looked decent. I thought,
Oh no, it was at home because
was.
because the second leg we was a little bit under pressure.
Yeah,
we was out.
But
there,
that first leg, I was watching it thinking West Ham could get knocked out here. That's
Yeah.
the point where I thought you might go out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was quite surprised at it. So what, it was the first leg at home, and then you had to go out there and win?
Was it? So
Did you win 1-0 at home?
What were the results? I can't remember.
So for the group stage?
No, semi-final.
He said semi-final. So yeah, the first leg was at home, and we won 2-1.
2-1.
So that's straight away. You're under pressure, aren't you? A 1-goal lead going away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not much of a lead, is it?
No, you're under pressure massively.
And we can't talk about the second leg without talking about what happened. Obviously, their fans rushed your players' family section,
Yes,
was it?
It was a family section, yeah. That's, people have got their opinions about it all. Fair play to the bloke. You know what I mean? I would have done exactly the same if I was a player. You stand there, you protect your family, don't you?
I wonder why they targeted that section. It's a random. It's not like the ultras, is it?
It's players' children, wasn't it? I think
It was the easiest section to get to from where they were, because I've seen another camera angle from where they actually came through and they knocked the gate through. So that was from their section to the West Ham family section, was there to there, if you know what I mean. So what was their intention? I don't know. No. I really don't know. But then again, where was your policing?
That's what I was going to
Where
ask.
was your security? You know what I mean? Especially when you've got ultras. Realistically, your players' families are more important than people like me. You know
Have they got a bit of a reputation for being like that? Surely that's not the first time they've done something like that.
All of Europe's got ultras, haven't they?
All European teams have got ultras. And when at the home leg, I was coming out the ground round to the station, and all there is Harris fencing that blocks the away fans to the home fans, and there was a group, I say a small group. There's probably 40, 50 of them, and then they flipped.
And was this at home or what?
This was at home.
Right, okay.
They flipped. They started flares. They started going towards the fence. Bearing in mind, you've got families and everything. It's a home game. And the Met Police literally stormed, nicked, dealt with it within seconds.
Do you think a lot of teams... Do you think this happens a lot more than people realise, or do you think teams get more up for it because it's West Ham and you have got a reputation from back in the day? Do you think teams abroad think, oh, it's West Ham, this is 100%. Our opportunity?
I think it's a bit of both. I really do think it's a bit of both. You know, you look at West Ham's reputation back in the 80s and everything, and then you've got the ultras, which are nasty people, really.
Yeah.
And they do try and pick you off. They try and pick you off in little groups, which I've been in places with West Ham over the last 2 years where they have done that, and you just see them floating about, and you know where they are.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a bit of both of them being that's what they do, and also I've got an English side, and West Ham have got a reputation of that, and try and beat that kind of thing.
Where out of all the away games, what away games did you attend, and what one was the best one?
Well,
hang on, no, the final ain't an away game, is it? Like,
it's still away, isn't it?
It's a mutual ground, isn't it?
It's a mutual ground. Like, all right then. Apart from the final, what was the best away day?
Well, this season I've done the quarters and the semi.
Yeah.
So Ghent and Amsterdam. AZ Alkmaar are about 45 minutes outside of Amsterdam, but everyone flew into Amsterdam. You know what I mean? Out of the two, it's a little bit different because Belgium, Ghent, it was so easy. You know, jump on the ferry straight across, and it was an hour.
Yeah, within an hour you're in Belgium, aren't you?
Parked up, and where our hotel was, it was literally the square was around the corner. When we first arrived, I was looking around like, you know, I can't hear anything. Couldn't really see anything. It was a young lad in reception. He was like, "Oh yeah, it's just round that corner." I went, "Oh, the first right." He went, "Yeah." Took his first right, and that's where the square was. And
everyone was there.
Yeah, everyone was there. And then Amsterdam, it was left, right, and centre really. On the first night, it was just bars here, you know, West Ham kind of everywhere. And then the match day in the square, it was unreal. Yeah, it really was unreal. So out of the two, in different ways, they're as good as each other. You know.
What about the grounds?
I did go to the grounds in the quarters and the semis,
right? Due
to points and capacity of the stadiums,
right? Yeah,
and that's one of the topics
so
about.
Small,
exactly that. So, you know, when you're looking at season ticket holders that have 66 points, and they're, you know, these away games are selling out at 58.
Yeah, you've got no chance.
No chance.
Yeah,
not in a million
same
years.
at Arsenal. Yeah. And can you talk us through the ticketing?
Yes, ticketing was quite difficult because it's obviously done on a point system. Now, being smaller grounds in the quarterfinal, semi-final, and the final. You know, when you got when they're season tickets have got 66 points, 67 points. Oh, actually, I think they start on 66 or 65 points, and they're selling out at 58 points. We've got no chance. But with the final, it sold out at 24 points. But I think it only sold out at 24 points. The allocation was 6,700, I think. It only sold out at 24 points is because you had to sign up through the club, through UEFA. Then you get given a time slot and an access code. If you put that access code in too early, too late, you're then wiped off. If you don't use that access code in that time slot, you've lost it. So you're looking at time slots when it was getting lower every hour or every 2 hours. You know, when people are working office jobs and stuff like that and they can't get on there, then they're losing their tickets. You know what I mean?
Imagine forgetting the slot.
I know.
And just looking at the clock and going, oh,
I've
missed it.
I've been
Yeah.
fuming.
I've done stuff like that before.
Oh yeah, that's why I said it.
And then you know, when you're watching it hourly and you're thinking, right, what's the next group? So it was 27 to 24. You don't have a clue how many tickets are left.
No.
And you're thinking, right, here we go. Next group. And my mate's got 21 points and he's like, right, I'm going to be in the next group. But then they started dropping it, like, points. So they'll drop it, well, in previous games, they'll drop it in groups and then per point.
Yeah.
So that's really when you know
There's not many left.
The
Really
tickets
low.
are running out.
Yeah.
My mate's got 21 points and he was, obviously missed out. But
6,700, and I know it's one of your topics, but if we talk about it now, 6,700 allocation for a European final is absolutely terrible.
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It really is. Now, the way that they've said about it on Sky Sports and stuff was going back to what I was saying initially is about these teams that we've never really heard of. That's given them an opportunity. Yes, but it's still a European trophy and you've got bigger names in there. Now, they've obviously taken that on board because I think it's season coming, the ground's 35,000 and then next season or season after is 43,000 or something like that I read.
Yeah.
You know, when you've got a final, Europa League final, what was that? That was 30 odd thousand, I think. Wasn't it?
I'm not too
Yeah,
sure.
30 odd thousand. And then you've got another European Cup that's 19,000 capacity.
Yeah.
Mad.
I mean, I might be wrong, but they might be thinking if two small clubs make the final, the stadium's going to be empty.
Well, Fiorentina didn't sell out their allocation, and you think they're not
They're not small, are
they're
they?
not small,
No.
but
Yeah.
you think, but then it goes down to travel.
Yeah.
I think it really does go down.
Maybe
to
they're
travel.
worried that if big clubs don't get to the final and they've chose a 60,000 seater, it's going to look a bit embarrassing for UEFA, isn't it?
Yes and no. They do it for playoff finals at Wembley, don't they? They just take off the top tier.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True, but also it'd be good for fans to get the actual.
And it'll give opportunity
yeah,
for general sale.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's what I'm getting.
General
At.
sale have got no chance at West Ham, even during the season. They've got no chance.
Yeah, but do you feel with general sale it's a dangerous game because you'll get a lot of fans that don't support West Ham signing up all of a sudden and buying tickets? You get that at Arsenal.
Well, we get that anyway.
Yeah,
we get
exactly.
that anyway. But where my season ticket is at West Ham is, I don't think it's a season ticket next to me because I've seen different geezer every week. You know what I mean? So
That's the only problem you face. Like with Arsenal, where it's so hard to get away tickets, like just in the league, a lot of Arsenal fans or some, they'll sign up to say it's Southampton away. A few weeks before, they'll sign up as a Southampton member and sit in the Southampton end. How do you feel about that? I couldn't do that.
I'll never go and sit in
I wouldn't. Would you? Honestly,
Don't know.
if it was to
So
see,
because
I would, but
I'm very
Vocal,
was it
animated.
Yeah.
Animated. I'm
Yeah.
a very animated,
Yes, yeah, I am.
passionate fan.
yeah,
Now, if I disagree with something or agree with something, or we score, I'm getting chucked out. Simple as that.
I think
I might as well walk myself. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to hold it in. To be
No.
fair.
Especially a big game.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'll do it in a small game just for a laugh. Just to celebrate in front of all of them if we score.
What stadium was the final played in then?
Where was we? Prague.
Prague.
Yeah. I don't know whose ground it was because I think it was Is it Slavia Prague's ground was a fan zone,
Right.
but I'm pretty sure there was 2 fan zones. Obviously, one for Fiorentina and one for West Ham. But then the fan zones that I've seen hasn't been in a ground. So
Yeah, I've not seen one.
No.
I've not seen any footage of a fan zone in
No.
the ground.
I've seen the West Ham fan zone in Prague, but that was just pure mud where it had been raining.
Yeah.
So with your away games, where did you start going to semi-finals or the quarters?
Quarters, we went to Ghent in Belgium.
So what time did you leave? Or did you leave a couple of days before?
So we left. So the game was on Thursday. We left on the Wednesday. No, tell a lie. We actually left on the Thursday morning to Ghent.
Right, okay.
Thursday morning, we drove down to Dover. Got on the ferry, straight across, straight down. Got to our hotel.
That's easier than some England away days.
Oh, mate, it takes
Staying in your country.
Yeah, it took me longer to get to
Newcastle.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I think me and Dad got picked up at about. I don't know. I think we got picked up at about 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning.
The final was it?
It was Slavia Prague's ground, yeah.
Slavia Prague final at the ground. We got picked up. I think it was about 7:30 in the morning. So
who picked you up? Mates or
yeah,
a coach?
So, last year there was a few. I've got stories about last year. You
Yeah.
know, it was trains, planes, and automobiles, like kind of trips.
Yeah.
Just going down to Lyon took us 18 hours on a coach. That's
Yeah,
about,
wow.
You know what I mean? It was a trip. So me and my old man obviously go together, and then my friend Jamie Cray and his dad Terry Cray, they always go together as well. So we decided as a 4, book it as a 4.
Just sort yourselves out. That's
Exactly
it. Otherwise,
that.
it gets complicated, doesn't
This
it?
is our details to the other boys.
If you want
This
to
is-
come. Yeah.
Exactly that. That's how we thought.
Yeah.
How so booked it, us 4, and a few others jumped on. You know what I mean? So booked
Were
the
they
same-
cheap away days, as in hotels, getting there and
Yeah.
back? Obviously, must be if
So
you're driving.
Belgium was cheap as chips.
Yeah.
You know, we got I think the ferry was 65 quid for the car for 4 of us return.
Yeah.
You know, you're looking at 15 quid each.
You're laughing.
You know, you can't even get the Canterbury on the train for that. You know what I mean? So, and then the hotel was a bullseye each, 50 quid.
It's nothing, is it, really?
You know what I mean? For one night. So for 65 quid, you've got to Belgium and you're staying there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
And I know you didn't get a ticket to the final, did you? You got a ticket to the final, didn't you?
Yeah, we got tickets to the
Yeah,
final.
but before that, how much are the tickets for like the semi-final? Are they capped for away?
Yeah, so
European
I
game?
think there's 4. I think there's 4. What are they called?
Categories?
Categories.
Yeah.
Categories. So there's 4 categories, and they start at like 20 quid. 20 quid, 30 quid, 40 quid, 50 quid, or something like that. The final, I think the most expensive ticket was 100 quid.
Face value.
Face value.
If you get it at face value.
Yeah.
So talk us through the final then. When did you leave for that? How long did it take to get there, etc.?
So this was all up in the air. So we get to the final. You know, I'm on all these groups, all the West Ham groups on online, and you're looking at ways that you can get there. You know, you've got, I think the Met released something saying that there was 45,000 West Ham over there.
Right.
You've got 6,700 people capacity, and there's
Yeah.
45,000 in Prague.
Yeah.
You know, Prague's not France, is it? You know what I mean? It's a trip. So we was looking, or to be fair, Jamie was looking when we won the game in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And the prices proper varied. You know, a direct flight to Prague was over £1,000 one way.
Yeah. That's because they look and they see that you've won your
Of
game.
course,
As
of
soon
course.
as you win that game, they put the price
Any
up.
flight from London's going to be absolutely
You know what I mean?
extortionate.
So we looked, and Jamie ended up booking it, and we went from Luton to Mallorca. It was a 2-hour stopover, and then Mallorca to Prague. That was on the Wednesday. Oh no, the final was on the Wednesday. That was on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Got to Prague at about 5 in the afternoon. 4 or 5 in the afternoon.
How did it feel in the airport? Was it full of West Ham then or not?
No,
Right.
it wasn't, because people were flying everywhere round Europe.
Yeah.
You know, there was people flying into Budapest in there. They were flying into Germany, getting a train down, flying to anywhere, getting buses, then trains. You know, trying to do the cheapest options. You know, if you got the dough, then you just pay direct.
Yeah.
£1,000 one way, before you're spending money before everything else, it's a little bit pricey. But me and Dad looked at it and said, if we can't get a flight, we drive it. 18-hour drive, you know what I mean? We'll just plot up somewhere on a little hotel on the way down or something like that. But so we get there, and obviously you see all the final, it's all
these fan zones and all that.
Yeah. So you're buzzing, jump in a cab, gets to our Airbnb, get showered and changed, get out. Because it's quite late now, everyone's pretty pissed. So, when you turn up to the party late, you're a little bit like, you know what I mean? We've had a couple of beers, but you're not on their level, and it's like, I'm thinking, tomorrow is big, like the biggest match in my life. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to be fresh. So we had some dinner, had a couple more beers, and was in bed by midnight, sober, ready.
Good night's sleep, yeah.
Yeah. So, then we woke up match day, and it was just like, everyone's pumping now.
So was the Airbnb, was the Airbnb, was that packed with fans as well?
No. Our Airbnb, there was people that were going, we're coming. Yeah. So I booked it, and it was 2 massive suites as such. Yeah. But ended up only us 4. So it was...
Who locally, like from around here, did you see out there? Who was you with? Who did you see?
So there was obviously me, my old man, Jamie and Terry that travelled together. Then Wes, Dan, Fowler. Who was with him?
Do you know Vinnie Jones and all that lot? They go out there, didn't they? They're from West.
Yeah, I didn't see them out there.
No,
I see
they were out there.
Yeah, I see that they were out there. But then you just bump into people that you see, that you've seen on the trips and stuff like that. And but from around here there was a group, Ollie Burnett and that lot.
So you obviously you went out there with no tickets to the game.
No tickets to the game.
And then you managed to get some. We won't ask how much because we know we won't get the answer. But
you won't. No.
How did you get it? How did it come about? Was you shouting out who's got tickets? Was it like that? Or
so woke up in the morning and my old man was like, "Look, this is how much I've got for tickets." Yeah. I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we go out, we go to the first bar. As soon as we walked into that bar, it's full of West Ham. DJ's playing, and I'm like, "Dad, I'm doubling what you've said. I'm doubling it now because there's
the vibe."
Yeah, the vibe.
And you've had a few beers.
Hang on a minute, I'm only 2 beers deep, and I'm already doubling it. And I thought, no, I want to go. I want to go. And my old man's like, "Yeah, cool, fine. Can you afford that?" I'm like, "Not really, you can." No. So then we have a couple of beers in this bar, and I'm like, "Right, we need to get to the square. This is where it's going to be pumping." Yeah. So we go to the square. Anyway, I've been given this website that people have bought off before, that people can list their tickets. Anyway, I've been on there the week before, and people are selling tickets for like £8,000.
Yeah, no, it does wind me up because you get that at every club where people are buying tickets. Arsenal, for example, at Arsenal, they'll buy tickets for 35, 50 quid, like the Wolves game, last game of the season. Yeah. A few weeks before that, we could have still won the league, and we were still thinking we might win the league. And there was tickets going for, I think, 23, 25 grand in the newspaper. So you get it at every club. Yeah. So you went on this website. Yeah, they're selling them for £8,000 the week before.
Yeah, the week before. So obviously match day. I was on on this website. I was looking. They're still a lot of money. Yeah, they're pushing £2,000. I'm like,
Did you contemplate the £2,000?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Gosh, you think, oh, come on. Yeah. And everyone's like, "Calm down, Carl." I'm like, "Hang on a minute, I've had a beer now." Yeah. And these minutes are ticking by to this final. And if I'm going, I want to get these tickets so I'll get in that ground as soon as them doors open. Yeah. Take it all in. Anyway, I'm not really talking to anyone now. I'm having a bit of a sing and a dance, and I'm like looking at my phone. Signed up for like alerts, and you can put an alerts on your phone to for your maximum budget.
Right, okay.
My phone vibrates. I'm like, straight on there. 2 tickets for £800, and it's just like, instantly gone.
Oh, right, okay.
Instantly gone. So you scroll through. But you have to be careful because you don't know the layout of the ground. So they don't. Some of the tickets they weren't putting what fans
Yeah.
what side they were on. They were just putting the block.
Yeah.
So by the time you actually search the block, and you have to know in your head what numbers and blah 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 blah. Anyway, I'm looking. Anyway, I've been passed a number from a legit tout. Dropped him a message, and he said, "Oh, I've got these 2 tickets. They're in the Fiorentina end." And I was like, "Nah, no, I can't do that."
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it anyway. Let alone the final. You know what I mean? So I said, "Just let me know if you got anything else." And then he come back with 2 tickets for a stupid amount of money. And I was like, no, I can't pay that, mate. And then he reduced it a bit. And it was like, all right, I'll see what I can do in an hour. And then this hour was the slowest hour. And then I was like, right, I'm going to text him. Everyone was like, no, let him text you. And I'm like, I just want to text him.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to wait.
I'd have been straight away.
These are the people that aren't getting tickets telling you to wait.
Yeah. So Jamie and Terry, they've got tickets.
Right, okay.
They've already got tickets for the game.
Yeah.
Now, me and Dad decided we're going to the ground. Right? We're going to the ground. We're going to try and work the ground out.
That's what I was going to
You know what
ask.
I mean?
Because there's ways you can get in sometimes, double up
Of
on the
course.
turnstiles, things like that.
But I'll go to that anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were like, right, we're going now. We're going to the ground. So there's one way for West Ham. I think West Ham was a tube. Fiorentina was a train. Opposite sides. So we're all going. And then someone said, got to be careful because they'll check your tickets before you get on the tube. I'm thinking, it's making me all nervous now. You know what I mean? Thinking about it because it was just like, I just want to get there. I just want to, kind of thing. Anyway, we turn up the tube, nice and early, straight through. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, we're walking down the main road, and there's this little pub. Not one English in there. It was all very locals kind of thing. Walk in there, get a beer, stand outside, and they're like, right, hold, just wait. And I'm thinking, now the ground's opening in 10 minutes. Yeah. And I was like, bollocks to both of you, or all of you. Yeah. I'm getting these tickets. And I stormed off straight on my phone, and I was like, boom, 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 right, this, and this. Transferred the money, and then on his WhatsApp, he went offline. I was like, I thought this was legit. I'm like, no. And I'm just now standing there. I've just looked to my left. I see him, the old man, Jamie and Terry. They're just all looking at me, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, no. And then it went ding in the wallet, in my UEFA wallet, ticket.
Whoa.
And I was like, oh, my God. I've got one. Where's the other?
Yeah.
And I'm like, ding, straight through. And I just literally sprinted back to him. We just had like a 4-way cut-up. That was a buzz in itself. Because the thing in my life is, I've just wanted to see West Ham or England win a big trophy. Well, with West Ham, a trophy. Yeah. With my dad. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we got close with the Euros. Yeah. Obviously, that didn't happen. Now, to see us win it, yeah, Kushti. But to be there in the ground with my old man, and it kind of sunk in then.
And with the allocation, not many people can say they were there, can they?
Exactly that. Yeah. So, went to the ground, went through. So you scan your tickets as you go through, and then on our tickets, it was section 2, which was all the way around the other side. But I would try in section 1 where Jamie and Terry were sitting. Went in, scanned, got straight through. So we were in there nice and early. Yeah. And our ticket was up top left, and we just
away days you do normally stand where you want, don't you? To be fair.
But that was the family enclosure again.
Oh right, okay.
So it was nice. So if you see when we scored both goals, they ran to the side.
Yeah, run to that.
Yeah, that's where we were.
So you saw the incident then of the bottle? Was it a bottle?
No, it was a vape.
Was it a vape?
Yeah, it was a vape.
I thought it was a cup. I thought it was a hard plastic cup that they threw.
See, it was all them cups were soft plastic anyway. Yeah. I don't agree with any of that. But he was. I don't know if the cameras showed any of it, but he was looking up and giving it the big one. You know what I mean? So,
really?
If you want fans like that, you're going to get some stuff.
You're going to get some. I disagree with throwing things at players and at fans. You know what I mean? I disagree with it. Give it all the mouth, whatever you like. But to actually throw them at the players, but you just don't do it. You know what I mean? Just take your corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was right there. Yeah. But there's one thing. So my old man hasn't, even though he's been in the ground, home and away, he hasn't actually seen any of the goals.
Wow.
Right?
Why?
Yeah, because he sees it as bad luck. Right. So whenever he goes to the toilet at a home game, we score.
Right.
Right. Or if we're drawing, then he'll stay down the bottom and have a beer, and we'll score and we win. So in the final, when we went 1-0 up, he come running up. He was down the bottom having a wee. He come running up. Yeah, give me a cuddle. Stayed there. They equalised. I was like, mate, you're gonna have to stay down there. Stay down there. So yeah, it all went through, and you know the atmosphere from when you got in the ground, it was unreal. It was you know.
What about their fans? Were their fans good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were good, but it was just normal. Like normal European ultras, you know what I mean? It wasn't out of, or European fans.
Were you louder than them?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
Was there more of you than them? Because you said they didn't sell out.
Yeah, they did. Well, there was only a corner that I could see that they didn't sell out.
Right, okay.
But, yeah, I think we had more in there than they did.
Was the ground nice?
Not really.
Weren't it?
No, not really. No.
Shouldn't host a final.
No, definitely not.
Really?
If it was over here, it would probably be a League One stadium. Yeah.
Like Luton.
Well, yeah.
Like Luton's
well,
game.
Luton's now, before it got demolished or wherever it is, it's probably a better ground.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But yeah, just the atmosphere was unreal. You know what I mean? And everyone knew, and everyone was in the same boat.
Yeah.
Like, everyone kind of knew what this was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're all there for the buzz, aren't you? You're all there for
And
that.
everyone was just like,
I think a lot of fans that support other clubs may not agree on, they won't admit it, but I think a lot of fans were rooting for West Ham, weren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Me and Amy
definitely.
were watching it, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I hope West Ham win. I hope
Yeah.
West Ham win.
I know. I think the only team that didn't want us to win was Tottenham. But
Well, no one likes them anyway.
No,
don't
no,
they?
That's true.
but yeah, so yeah, obviously, you know, going into the second half, it was like squeaky bum.
Yeah.
And then I'll just prepare myself for.
How
extra
did you
time.
feel when they equalised? Did you? Because I think it's natural to think we're not going to win this now. I think that's how I feel whenever Arsenal go 1-0 up and then it goes 1-0. You're like, oh, here we go.
With West Ham, it's like I always call it the dreaded 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes of West Ham. If we can get through that first 10 minutes
Of the game.
of any game,
Right. Okay.
and after that 10 minutes we start looking all right, I think we've got the game. But we for a final, I don't know if it was nerves or anything. It was just like we're not really doing anything. We're not really, we're not really doing anything. We're just like a little bit like. Ooh.
Both teams were like that. Though.
Yeah, it was a bit of
I
a
think
flat
it was,
final
yeah.
wasn't it, to
It's
start
almost-
with.
Yeah, it was.
It was like the what's the phrase? The not the moment got to them. The
Occasion.
The occasion got to them a little
100%.
bit. Yeah.
Which it would anyone really. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It doesn't matter if it's the FA Cup final or a Champions League final. It's in some way it's going to get you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh mate, I've got sent videos of my mate Rob,
Yeah.
who's he's a big West Ham fan, but he was watching it at home, and his wife was sending me videos of him when they scored, jumping around, going absolutely mad, and then like 10 minutes later, I got another video of him on the floor crying into his flag, like. I'm just like, mate, the game's not over yet, like. But
Yeah, when they scored, I'm thinking, right. What I didn't want us to happen is for us to score and then just sit back.
No one
Because
wants
at that point, we will lose the game. And then when we did kind of sit back, they scored, and I'm thinking, right, is this a good thing? Because now we can start again. Rather than us being 1-0 up in the 80th minute and then struggle for 10 minutes or whatever, you know what I mean? So, anyways, we're coming. And to be fair, I was preparing myself for extra time.
Do you know what? I think you got to give credit because people slag off managers, and West Ham are quite well known for slagging Moyes off before when he got sacked, didn't he?
Yeah.
But you got to give credit where it's due. He got his decisions right in that final. I feel watching it as a mutual. I thought, yeah, that's a good sub. Yeah, that's a good sub.
To be fair, I couldn't tell you who the subs were.
But at the time,
too engrossed, mate. At the moment,
Honestly, but it's just like it's there.
I'm going to be honest. I can't remember, but at the time,
Yeah.
I was thinking, yeah, that's probably the right thing to do. And you got to give him credit there. He managed the final very well, I think.
Yeah.
Because when he goes 1-1, most managers could panic. He didn't. He just done the right thing.
I think most managers, most coaches, most players will panic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel like during the whole of the second half, it was mainly do not concede.
Yeah.
Do not concede.
Yeah.
And we've got a chance.
Yeah.
And I feel like that worked. And then just that goal, mate.
Yeah.
So I'm preparing myself for extra time. I'm
Yeah.
like, right, okay, cool. And then I'll probably speak for every West Ham fan that was in that ground. That ball got put through.
What a ball.
Right. And let's give me goosebumps now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's literally crazy. So everyone's kind of gone, yeah, and then it goes silent. Right? If you watch like the fans behind the goal or anywhere, and it goes silent. Fiorentina fans are silent because they're like, please miss.
Yeah.
We're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it goes dead silent.
Yeah.
And the ball, it was like it was slow motion. No one even celebrated when it went over the line. It wasn't until you see that net move.
Yeah.
And it went absolutely crazy. Of course, my old man's not there. The jumpers on. Tell me Jamie behind. I'm cuddling them, and it's like God got kids next to me. I'm jumping all over them. It's absolutely crazy. Lost my sunglasses. They've gone. Like,
Doesn't matter, does it?
I've got
Does
a shirt
not matter.
off.
Yeah.
It's just gone crazy. Added time, 6 minutes. So this is the first time I've ever done it.
Just a question before we go on to that. When he got played through, honestly, did you, in your head, are you thinking he has scored this, or do you think he ain't going to score this?
In my head, he's gone wide.
Yeah.
100%. He's going to overcompensate, try and put it past the goalkeeper.
Because they're not easy to score them. He got so much time.
Yeah.
He had a lot of time to think about what he was going to do with it. And that's
But if you ask any football, like anyone that likes football, what's the biggest thing that you want to do? Is score a 90th minute winner in a cup final. Right?
Better than sex.
100%. No. But but the silence probably killed him even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's just him.
Yeah. But it just went boom.
Is that, I don't know much about West Ham's history. Is that the biggest goal in West Ham's history, or is there a bigger goal in West Ham's history?
Well, apart from the World Cup final, of course.
No, West Ham.
Well, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it was, 47 years. 47 years since the last European win.
Yeah.
43 years ago since the last European final.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Why? Of course it would be, wouldn't it? You know?
I'll just ask a question. So obviously there was, when he scored the goal though,
Yeah.
there was a hint of the offside, wasn't there? And the VAR check. What was that like? The feeling.
I didn't even know about it.
Oh, I didn't know.
Matt,
Really?
like the VAR could have gone on for 3 minutes. But
It
to
was
me,
quite clear though when you looked at it on.
When you looked at it,
watched it on telly.
But
it
there's
weren't
still
even-
that when it comes up VAR check, then it possible offside, and you're sitting there
But
thinking.
usually it's like
please, no.
celebrate and then you got to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone was still celebrating, and I felt like, oh, VAR, yes, it's a goal.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Right,
like,
okay.
It wasn't like, oh, everyone's hold tight, and celebrate again. I think everyone kind of, well, I didn't know, you know what I mean. But where I was, I didn't have no doubt.
Who was the
No.
best player on that pitch?
Pacquiao.
Yeah, he had a great fight. He played really well.
I think he was really good, really, really good. I think.
Did any West Ham player surprise you in the tournament, like from the beginning to the end? Did you look at a player and go, "Oh, you've done well this tournament, actually," and I weren't expecting you to? Any shocks?
Not really,
No.
because
Anyone played bad?
yeah, I'd say Ben Johnson.
Right.
The year before, I think he was pretty good.
Yeah.
And my old man, he was like, nah, he's not that great. And then this season, it's just mistake after mistake, and I feel, you know, all right, fair play. It's just won a trophy with the under-21s England, so he can't be that bad. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, he was the one that I would say that, you know, didn't really perform as well as, you know, what
you'd expect.
Yeah, what I'd expect. But then again, some people would have bad games, and West Ham in themselves didn't have brilliant games as a team. Get the job done. That's what, you know, Joe Cole and Carlton Cole would say on BT Sport. It's like, they've got the job done.
Yeah. No matter how you win it, as long as you get it done.
Exactly.
And it's strange how like you've won that European final, but you finished 14th in the league. That must be so weird for a West Ham fan to think, right, you've had a terrible season, really, but then you've gone and done that. So is it a good season? It's got to be a good season for a West Ham fan, is it?
Well, how can it not be? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you won a European trophy.
At the end of the day, there's no difference in coming. Okay, this could be a talking point. There's no difference in coming 14th than there is 8th, and then still winning the European trophy.
That's a valid point. You ain't winning nothing else, either.
It's true. Yeah.
You come 8th, you're not in Europe. Come 14th, you're not. But you're still in the Premier League next season.
Yeah, and you win a European Cup, you are in Europe.
Yeah, now we've just,
How do you think you'll get on in Europa League?
Right, so it depends on the draw, of course.
Yeah.
It's obviously some really good teams in. Now, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how they want to play it. So you can play it safe and come third and get dropped down in the conference and go and try and win that. Yeah?
Yeah.
Or do you want to go and try and win it when you've got the likes of Liverpool and bigger names?
There's no one bigger, but we'll go with that.
in the competition.
Yeah. The only thing that puts me off about Europa League is the teams dropping out of the Champions League. I think that needs to stop.
Yeah, that's
I think if you get knocked out of the Champions League,
You're
get out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, West Ham could be doing really well, and then bosh, Real Madrid. They've just been knocked out of the Champions League. You've got Real Madrid next.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you've come third. You haven't been good enough to get through to the knockout round. Why are you being given a knockout round in a different competition?
I'm sure actually most clubs would actually be preferred to be knocked out properly. Like, if we get knocked out, I want to be out because then we can concentrate on our league. Instead of
saying that's the wrong sort of fan, really. Chelsea historically won the Champions League, got into the Europa the following season for being third, and then won the Europa. So we're the only club in history that's held 2 trophies, Europa and Champions League at the same time. So I personally didn't mind that idea.
No, but what I mean is you dropped out of... I don't like the teams that are dropping out of the Champions League and then playing in the Europa League that year.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Is that what you've done?
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
So we won Champions League in 2012.
Yeah.
2013, we came third in the group stage.
Yeah,
went to Europa and then won the Europa
Oh,
League.
okay.
They were holders of both cups for about a week, weren't you?
Yeah.
So yeah,
That should stop, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do agree, because if you're not good enough to get through to that, why are you now being given an opportunity to then go again and
exactly.
Like, you was good enough to get to that point and get in that competition, so if you don't win it, you don't win it.
Yeah. How do you feel about Declan Rice leaving and signing for Arsenal?
So that would have been his last game then, the final European final.
So that was his last game.
Oh yeah, I was watching him on the pitch thinking, it'll be in an Arsenal pitch kit next time I see him.
Good way to bow out though, captain.
I even said to Amy, I went, he'll be in an Arsenal kit next season. How do you feel about it?
I'm gutted.
Yeah.
I am gutted about it. I really am. You know what I mean? I've got a lot of West Ham, friends and stuff, and I'm seeing a lot of mixed opinions about it. And I don't know how I feel. All I do feel is that I'm gutted because I love Geezer.
The selfish side of you obviously wants to keep him, like any normal person.
In my head, at the end of last season, it was, if we win the conference, we'll keep him. We'll extend his contract for a year.
Yeah.
What makes you think that? Because I feel like
Because
if you've
it's a
won that,
trophy.
it's a good place. It's
Because
a good
it's a
time to
trophy.
leave, though, isn't it? It's a good time to leave.
No, I think it's muggy.
No, I think it's a good time to leave.
Because we've just won the conference, we've just been promoted into Europa, so why could he not lead that team to go and win that? And if we win that, we're in Champions League, which he wants to play.
Ain't happening.
I think it would have brought better spirit to the team if he'd have stayed though.
Yeah.
Oh, of course it would.
Because
but
it would have showed like I'm here to stay. I'm here to try and go that one step further with all of
But
you.
then he falls into the Harry Kane problem, doesn't
yeah, exactly. I think
Well,
winning
he's
that.
not going to win a trophy.
he? Well, he's,
No, I just feel.
He will, most goals, mate.
I feel it was a good time for him to leave, and that's not me being because I'm an Arsenal fan. I think that it's a good time to leave when you've just won a final for the team that you've been waiting to win a trophy for years. You've done it. Right, I'm going. Thanks for the good time.
So, in terms of him, obviously me and my old man have been talking about it for the last 2 days. When did it come out? I was with you on Friday night, so Saturday morning, when I was crying. I was upset about it because at the end of the day, you had Mr. West Ham, Mark Noble, hand that captaincy to a 22-year-old leader.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's up there with Bobby Moore and Billy Bonds of lifting a trophy, and then within a matter of 6 weeks walking away from the club. For him, in terms of him, footballing wise, yeah, I think it's a good decision. And if there's a club that I'd want him to go to, it would have been Arsenal.
Yeah.
Now he has gone, and I'm seeing all this bollocks, right? You know, this Adidas advert thing. Oh my god! And then there was some other video that I've just seen about an hour before I come on here.
You look very salty.
It looks fake. You see his interviews for West Ham last year, and you think, right, that's talking, and it's just like, North London, this is my home now. Like,
He's probably nervous because he's now finally playing for a big club.
Excuses for the unit, you know. No, I'm only joking.
He's at a huge club now.
Yeah.
And that's not. I'm not saying that to
No,
mind
look, at
West
the
Ham
end of the
fans.
day, teams like Arsenal and stuff, they have a squad or have many world-class players. Now, realistically, he's the odd one out at West Ham because he's a world-class player in a Premier League side that haven't got world-class players. Really.
So
out of West Ham's team, is there any other world-class players?
No.
Maybe.
No.
He's not world-class.
Not yet. He might be.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So you've got like 105 mil for him.
Yep.
Where do you think that should be invested in the squad?
Well,
Is
it's
there
not
any-
Centre mid.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Centre mid. But is there any other areas?
No, I'm going to leave that open now.
Half of that's going on Harry Maguire.
yeah, exactly like that. So even before the deal was done, David Moyes come out and said, "Oh, we wait for this money from Arsenal to reinvest," and it's like you shouldn't be doing that.
No.
In my eyes, you shouldn't be waiting. You should be building a squad, building a team, with him, even if he's going or not going. You shouldn't be relying on his money to then restart and build a squad.
Yeah, I've never looked at it like that. Yeah.
You should be building a squad on how I can get the squad better from last year,
Yeah.
or how we can change footballing wise. Okay, right. He was out and out our best player over the season, 100%. Yeah, and he is solid. Now we signed Flynn Downs from Swansea, I think it was last year. Now the games that he's come on, he's in my eyes potentially be a new Declan Rice, but at the moment he isn't being given the opportunity. And I was talking on the West Ham group chat yesterday, and I was like, I hope he's been or gets given this opportunity to actually have a free run as Declan Rice did.
Yeah.
Kind of in that, because he is. I think he's more aggressive than Declan Rice.
Yeah.
So liability maybe, but we'll see.
But when you say about David Moyes waiting for the money
Yeah.
to that, he might be thinking, right, if he does it the way you think he should do it, then he might go out and buy a 30 million midfielder because that's all he can afford. But then if he buys that 30 million midfielder and then he's got 105 million, he might think, I wouldn't have bought him
Yeah.
if I had this money.
Okay, so
Because I could have bought a 50 million pound player. And now I've just bought a 30 million player that now I don't want because I've got 105 million sat
no,
there.
I completely disagree. As a club, like West Ham, we've got 105 million. That's obviously,
Yeah. You won't see that to spend, by the way. You won't get all that to spend on players.
I
Yeah.
think our first payment's 33.3 million.
Yeah.
Right. So
Not
okay,
stupid.
that that's a start, I suppose. But when even if we did get 105 million straight up,
Yeah.
would you ever see West Ham go and buy 90?
No.
No, but you could buy
100
three 40 players, for 35 million. roughly.
Okay, we could do that anyway.
Yeah.
I think a good player that could come in for you would be if you can price Calvin Phillips away from Man City
Yeah.
Or James Ward-Prowse.
or Ward-Prowse.
Yeah. That'd be a
But
shout.
apparently you're missing an absolute penalty today. Apparently
Really?
in a pre-season friendly, just absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
I don't rate him, and the reason I don't is because I did about a year ago, and then someone said to me, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast before, someone mentioned to me, watch him for Southampton. He ain't great. He's just well good at free kicks. So I've watched him for months, and he ain't actually great. He ain't.
Right.
He's just well good at free kicks, and I think people just see the free kicks and go, he's quality.
Yeah.
He's not actually brilliant.
No.
I don't think so. That's my opinion. But
But then
I
again,
rated
it's-
him before someone pointed it out to me.
Yeah, but then again, it's there's players that I look at and I think, like we signed Danny Ings. Danny Ings realistically hasn't really done a lot for us
No.
for half a season.
No.
No.
But I still rate him.
I like him.
I think he's a good player.
You know,
He's
I
just very
strike
injury prone.
Scamacca, injury prone. Scamacca's all right. Yeah, he's been injured.
One of my West Ham mates earlier said he might be leaving.
No, that's all talks again.
Is it?
But then again, he's a bit stupid, and he said, said something because I think he was from Roma originally, and he was like, yeah, about going back there. I'm thinking, if you don't want to play for the club, go.
Yeah.
It's another like Haller. You know, we spend 45 million on Haller, and
Yeah, but look what he's doing now, though, Haller.
yeah, he's doing brilliant.
He's playing really well.
Fair play to it.
Certain players just don't suit certain clubs. It just
No,
doesn't
they don't.
work, and
No.
you can't blame the
But
player.
also-
You
but
can't
also
blame the
it-
club.
I know it sounds a bit funny, but it is like West Ham way kind of thing. You'd never see a massive change in the football of West Ham, I don't feel. You keep up with the times, but you just replace the players. You know what I mean? There's no like major changes to.
Do you think you oversell it to the players, and then when they turn up, you're like, "This ain't what they said it is"? Do you think that happens?
What, in terms of
Just.
in signing the players?
Do you think when you go to sign a player, do you think you oversell it like we're massive? We've got this massive stadium. It looks great, but West Ham aren't massive. Sorry, they're not, are they? Realistically,
Here we are.
okay.
Everywhere we go.
You're not
I
a
was
massive
waiting for
club.
that.
There's not many massive clubs in the world, really, is there? There's about 10, probably, you could argue, that are absolutely massive clubs. West Ham aren't one of them.
Why?
They're not a top European club, if that's what you mean.
Why
They're just
are
not
West
massive.
Ham not a massive club?
But would you? So what you're saying?
Because, all right, I'll tell you
Through
why.
history, through
No,
what?
everything. His fan base, history,
Okay.
because
Fan base, yeah.
if I wanted a season ticket at West Ham, I could probably get one in 2 years, right? At Arsenal, it's 16 years.
Yeah,
Like
why?
that,
Why?
because we're huge. We're a huge club.
Where does that come from?
Our history is massive.
Right, so you won a few, like quite a few trophies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you got at school? You got people following that, like these teams at school.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think you said this on your last podcast about Man City shirts.
Yeah.
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 In 5, I think you said it, Gary. In 5 or 10 years' time, you're going to see
Newcastle shirts.
Newcastle
Yeah, of
Man
course,
City
yeah.
shirts.
Yeah.
And then if Newcastle, they're not a massive club, no?
I wouldn't say they're massive.
Okay,
no.
so they're going to be a massive club in 5 years' time.
Yeah, but I don't actually rate Man City as a massive club either.
Okay,
They've just got
so
tons
they're
of
not.
money.
Yeah.
I think eventually-
if we had Man City's money, does that make us a massive club?
I think after a while it will.
think
You
we're-
will become a massive club. Well, you'll become worldwide. That's
Yeah.
when you become massive, in my opinion.
Money does it, doesn't
If
it?
we got given £1 billion and we signed Messi,
Yeah.
that would make us a massive club because of the shirt sales and everyone following West Ham because that's where that world class player is at.
No, I think to be a massive club, you have to be successful over a certain amount of time. Like, for example, if West Ham were bought by Saudi tomorrow,
Yeah.
just because you buy Messi doesn't make you a massive club. But if you, eventually, because of all your money, you will sign massive players. Then you'll start winning trophies. And after 20, 30 years, I would then probably say, yeah, you're probably a massive club now.
Yeah, and that's the point he's just made with the kids that are following football
Yeah.
today. When they sign the big players, that's where the kids start being more interested in the teams that are winning the trophies.
But do you think sometimes, not just with West Ham, do you think sometimes players, when they're doing the negotiations, the club's going, yeah, we're this, we're that, and the players are, oh, and then they get there and they're like, hang on a minute. Do you think that happens? Do you think that happens?
I think
Robinho,
Yeah.
Robinho
Yeah.
come out and said, when he signed for City,
thought he
I
signed
thought
for
I was
Chelsea,
signing
yeah.
for United.
No, Chelsea.
Shut up.
No, he said,
it was United. He
was
thought he was going to Man United.
Oh,
he
right.
said, I thought there was only one team in Manchester. He didn't even know there was a second Manchester team. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, you can sell something. You can.
Right. So you talk about that.
Yeah.
Have you seen Declan Rice's video?
What one?
The one that when he's walking around the change room.
No,
Do you want to have a look at it quickly?
not right now. No.
Okay,
What
right.
one? It's
Just
Arsenal change room,
Yeah, Arsenal change room.
right?
And I put a comment. You'll probably see it on Facebook.
Okay.
It's like, oh, he's never walked in a change room before, and it's his first impression of this change room.
Yeah.
Like, grow up, mate. Like, grow up.
You haven't been in Arsenal
That ain't-
change
that
room.
ain't-
You ain't been in
It's
West Ham
impressive.
Stadium.
It's impressive.
The change room. You know what I mean? It looks lovely. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But oh my god, mate!
But-
Like, you played at Wembley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the
That's
thing.
a nice change room and all.
Yeah, but it's to get the fans
in
happy.
football's
innit?
gone. Do you know what I mean?
Loyalty in football has
Absolutely
gone, yeah,
I don't care
100%.
who
I'll
the
tell you
player
who
is.
the last example of loyalty is probably Mark Noble.
Yeah, probably.
I can't name one any more recent.
Look at
really.
Mason Mount.
Steven
Like
Gerrard?
his first
Noble's
interview
more
with Man
recent.
United, he was calling it home.
Yeah. And to be fair, right, so I'm going to start bringing up the Declan Rice things that I've got, topics now. Right, so I'm going now.
Here we go,
right.
boys.
So we got something like, well, my notes is like a rude attitude. Like he's kissing the badge. He's saying he loves the club. You know what I mean? And okay, on his leaving letter yesterday is, you know, West Ham will always be in his arse. He has to put that, doesn't he? Just to be nice, really. And then,
I disagree. He probably does mean it.
Okay.
Same as Jack Grealish is Aston Villa. He'll always love Aston Villa.
Right, but then he puts before this is all signed, he puts a picture on Facebook of him by a private jet. Was like, I'm ready for you with like a red emoji. Like
he might have been going to Japan. Like, is their flag? Isn't it?
Shut up.
You shared it. Because I know what it's about Arsenal.
You know what I mean? And I look at that and I think, you know, what I would expect from him in that term is, I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, it's a bit of shit house.
As soon as them papers are signed, I'll go. And the fact that he didn't even do a video or anything, that annoyed me.
What, a goodbye video?
Yeah. It's a written letter that had been written prior to this. So it's already done. And I just think it was just a bit muggy on terms of West Ham absolutely love him.
He could have showed a bit more passion when he left, yeah.
I can see why you're right.
There's no real not an excuse, reasoning apart from I've got, you know, trophies and stuff, but you just kind of won a trophy.
I think it's a step up in his career, definitely.
I agree. Yeah. But as a West Ham fan,
I understand your view on it. But what you've got to remember, and what we got to remember, is for these footballers, it's their job.
Yeah.
We've got our jobs, right? And if we had an opportunity to be in a better position, we will take it. The same as any player, and he's just done that. And he does love West Ham. You can tell he loves West Ham. He always will love West Ham. I believe that.
Until he scores against us.
He won't, I don't think he'll celebrate.
But I don't think there's any...
he won't.
Exactly. Where you get some players, don't give a shit.
But I'm just putting a fiver on with you now that he's going to score the winner.
But no, because I agree.
Just lose your fiver to me.
Give each other a fiver.
There's no player though that you could say like their heart beats for that club anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because they
like I said, the last one was noble.
They will go.
You had your Gerrard.
With any club, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, if Real Madrid or Barca come knocking in their prime, that'd be off.
No, Gerrard didn't.
Gerrard, he was tempted to go.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
But he didn't.
Yeah, but this is then. I'm talking about now.
Noble. Although Real Madrid.
You just said he was the last one, didn't you? Though. But nowadays, the generation we've got now, they ain't going to stick around if a big club comes calling or a bigger club.
No, I can't think of one player off the top of my head right now that I think would stay at their club if a big club come knocking.
Quite rightly, like you said, though, it's their career. They're thinking about their family, their life afterwards.
But back then, even in the Gerrard era, when he was young, most teams were full of English players.
Yeah.
Now they're all foreigners. That's why there's no loyalty, because most of the team are foreign.
But even the English ones,
it's money.
Even the English ones are like
it is money.
Yeah,
like you say, if you're on $50,000 a week, and the club comes in and goes, "Well, I'll give you $250,000 a week."
We had this argument on the podcast last year, where because I sat on the train coming back from Arsenal and spoke to a Palace fan, and I disagreed with him. I said, for you, say you play for West Ham and you're their captain, and you're on $50,000 a week. Say another London club come in and went, right, we'll give you $500,000. Are you taking it?
What, as a West Ham supporter player?
Yeah, you support West Ham.
You're their captain. I'm their captain. No, I wouldn't.
So you're turning down $500,000.
Because I can live on $50,000 a week.
What would you do? You're going from $50,000. All right, then $50,000. You're playing for Liverpool. Everton come in. Here's £500,000 a week.
I couldn't do it with Everton. No.
All right, then United.
Not a fucking chance.
All right, then City.
No, not a chance.
Yeah, all right,
abroad probably.
No, it was mainly.
Abroad I could probably do it, but I
couldn't.
He said no doubt. He said if he was at Palace, I think it was Palace he supported. If I was on $50,000 a week and my rival offered me $100,000 a week, I'd go. He said it's an extra $50,000 a week. It's double your money. He didn't even think about it. He went, I'd go.
But I'm more loving to my club.
Doesn't love his club as much as what he says then. That's the one.
What about you, Khan? You're Chelsea fans, so you're probably
Might be
following
funny,
on, wouldn't you?
He's got a Saudi.
He's got in the beard and everything for it. He's ready.
Realistically, you've got 50 grand a week. You've got, even if you pay after all your bills, you've still got 48 grand in the bank.
Yeah, he's still sitting there laughing. Yeah.
You think their bills are $2 grand a week? No way.
I still have a Fiat Punto. I would.
Like Kante, what was his name?
Yeah.
What else you got to say?
Yes. So,
Is it more about Declan Rice?
I've got a few about Declan Rice. Oh, rub it in.
Go on.
I've already mentioned about Declan Rice's replacement being Flynn Downs. I think Alec can run that, so I'm not going to go through that. Compare the Harry Kane price tag onto Declan Rice. Bearing in mind, the only thing that I can think of is age, but they've both got a year left on their contract. Yeah. But Harry Kane, they've put a bid in for 60 odd million, haven't they? And Declan Rice goes for 105 million. But at the end of the day, Harry Kane is scoring the goals, which will win more matches.
Yeah, Harry Kane will win you a game.
Rather than Declan Rice would, in my opinion. So how does that money even work? Is it literally just age?
It's age, mate, I think.
Yeah, also I think that offer's come from outside the Prem.
I was just about to say
Harry
that.
Kane won't have to play Spurs a couple of times a year in the league. Do you know what I mean?
I agree with that.
So if a club in England wanted to buy
Harry Kane,
Harry
it
Kane,
would be over 100 mil. I think it'd have to be
Yeah,
100 mil.
it'd have to be, yeah.
Tottenham won't let him go for less than 100 mil if he's staying in the Premier.
But you also look at it over the length of contract that they can give him over to how the payments work. Like Chelsea have obviously swindled that, haven't they? When they did that over like 7-year contracts.
But that is exactly why. It's because he won't be paying Tottenham if he goes Bayern Munich. Unless it's... No,
They won't even play the Champions League, will they?
I've got a little fact for you as well.
Go on,
I found out today. Did you know the Declan Rice announcement got more likes on social media than City did? City's treble win did.
Really?
That doesn't surprise me. That really don't surprise me.
That's mad, isn't it?
It's because all their supporters are under the age of 10. That's why.
And ex-Man United fans.
This is the question I want to ask you. And there's a key word. Did West Ham have a more successful season than Arsenal?
Absolutely.
Being
Yes.
successful.
I think, you had a
the
more
main word.
successful season, but you didn't have a better season. Does that make sense? That really doesn't make sense,
No, it
but you
doesn't
know
make
what I
sense.
mean. I think,
Over the length of a season.
obviously,
you're-
success is based on trophies, and you won a trophy, we didn't. But I think we had a better season as a whole. But you had.
But why?
For your club, you had a better season. You played better football.
Where did we finish the year before?
You played better football. You got Champions League. That's a goal of Arsenal.
I think you were 6th, weren't you?
Mate, we nearly won the league. If you'd gone before that
Nearly?
season, before that season kicked
So did we.
Before that season kicked off,
Everyone nearly won it. But it was
before
on
that
zero.
season kicked off, I thought we'll get 6th or 5th. We had a better season than you, but you had more success. If that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see.
We
I see what
definitely
you're
had a
saying
better
there.
season.
Yeah, I can see. Because I've asked that question to a few. Not in a muggy way, just in
Out of
like
curiosity.
Yeah.
I would
Because
say, I'd say.
Listening to
successful.
TalkSport, the day we arrived back from Prague, you had some absolute idiot on there going, is anyone else annoyed at all these West Ham supporters?
His name was Sean Barron, I think.
Oh, yeah, him
No,
and
I'm
all.
joking.
Him and all. But hang on a minute. West Ham have just won a trophy.
Yeah. What do you think about my answer?
What? Just
That we've had a better season, but you had a more successful season. That's probably the best way to word it, isn't it?
yeah, because I can understand that in terms.
You
of
finished 14th.
Yeah,
We nearly won the league, but you won a trophy, so you've had more success.
but you've had the better season in the Prem.
Yeah.
But we've had the more successful season winning the trophy.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah.
Cool. But if we had come, well, no, yeah,
Next
I
question.
agree. Yeah, next question. Okay, right. So now are we done with West Ham?
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah.
I've got a few topics. This is directed at you as well, Josh. As an Arsenal fan,
Jesus.
what would you be happy with in this season coming up in terms of cups, leagues,
Top
league,
4.
league finish?
I'll take
etc.?
4th now.
So you take 4th.
Yeah.
In terms of your own,
That shows how
Champions
good.
League.
That goes back to the question you've just asked me. The fact I'll take 4th now. Obviously, I want to do better than that. But if you guarantee me 4th now, I'll take it. That shows how good we were last year. That we nearly won the league, but I'm now happy to take 4th.
Yeah.
But you've just signed Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, a new defender,
Timber.
Yeah.
You spent so much
No,
money.
listen. I think we should do better than 4th, but I'll take 4th now. If I was guaranteed 4th now, I'll take it.
I
So
wouldn't- I wouldn't
you buying all
for the
these
time
players,
again.
are you going to do a Chelsea?
What?
come down
Yeah.
down the bottom.
Are you going
And
to
not
have a
jelly
bad
it,
season?
or have a bad
Nah,
season.
nah.
To be fair though, with Chelsea, we signed these players halfway through the season. The majority of them, like Mudryk,
And
all
and
these
I
others.
also think that's part of West Ham's issue was last season. Is that we didn't buy anyone, and then the fans were on the case. It was all on the case, and we bought 9 players. Now we had a small squad go like in Europa last season, and we done well.
Yeah.
Now we bought these 9 players. Now in my eyes, everyone was like, oh, "Shit, I've got to fight for my place now."
Yeah.
Over trying. Antonio, you can see he's a donkey, right? I love the geezer because he'll score when he wants to score. You know what I mean?
He frustrates the life out of me.
He's
Watching
just,
him.
he's just a flappy geezer.
Yeah.
He's not a striker.
Cool. He's a left back.
Yeah.
But I feel like we've signed 9 players and everyone kind of went into panic mode. And then even David Moyes was like, I don't know how I'm going to use this team. You know what I mean? In terms of trying
Tottenham
this,
done it when they
trying that. I actually think West Ham, even though we've lost Declan Rice, I think watching them in the pre-season friendly yesterday, I feel like, all the boys knew that he's already gone.
Yeah.
How can we gel now with the squad that we've got? Let's go.
Some teams do well without their
Yeah.
main player.
And I think it's going to do
Sometimes.
it. I've got a good feeling.
They've got to learn to adapt anyway without him, haven't they?
Yeah.
100%.
If you can get that money and invest it in maybe a couple of areas, do you know what I mean? Improve the overall squad.
Yeah,
you need to get them in now. That's the problem. If you get them in after the season's already started, that's when you start incurring
Oh,
problems.
yeah,
I think.
that fucked Arsenal up a couple of times. I was having this conversation the other day. The amount of times where we signed, when Wenger was in charge, we'd sign players well late in the window, either just before the season or as the season starts, and then we'll lose our first 2 or 3 games, and Wenger will come out and go, "Oh, we weren't ready." You're telling me you've had whole pre-season to sign players.
Yeah.
You've waited till last minute to try and get a bargain, and now we've lost a few games. There's a saying: you can't win the league in the first 10 games, but you can lose it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And 100%, that is true.
Yeah, but that's why I love what Liverpool have done this season. We've got McAllister and that's Szoboszlai straight through the door.
Yeah.
Early doors before pre-season even started, so they can both hit the ground
The only
running.
team that haven't done it, the only top team that haven't really done it is United. They've not signed anyone, have they?
Yeah, Man City haven't
Yeah,
really
I was gonna say
either.
City.
They've offloaded, but they haven't
Yeah, they haven't
replaced.
They've got
They don't need
Kovacic
to,
in there,
do
haven't they? Kovacic for Gundogan.
Looking at Chelsea team, they've lost 10 players, which will probably would be a starting 11 that could win games. You know what I mean? And you've offloaded them 10 players, and I'm thinking, blimey.
Yeah, but they had to, didn't they, for that financial fair play?
That just shows that's bad
300 million.
business, though. That shows that's a knock-on effect of bad business in the long run,
Yeah, absolutely.
isn't it?
Players like
You
Pulisic.
shouldn't have to get rid of 10 players in one window.
No.
It shouldn't ever be like that.
But the thing is, our team wasn't good enough anyway, before we signed all these players.
It should be.
Tuchel was sort of
On
papering
paper,
over
the team was actually all right.
He was sort of papering over the cracks. The team didn't work as well as it should do. Like Kovacic, Jorginho in midfield. It was good for games, but long term, it wasn't great. That's why they've both.
I think it's hard, like when you have the press, and especially nowadays with social media and everything, as if they don't look at that. You know what I mean? You could have every single West Ham supporter going at David Moyes about how exactly the same, how exactly the same formation, that we should play, and he'll do something completely different.
Yeah.
But he's noticed that. But will he do it? No, he won't. He'll do it his way. He'll do it how he. And this is what I say to my old man gets so annoyed with it. And I try and say to him, you don't know what they're doing, what they've been told to do.
Yeah.
But then if
And
it
we
doesn't
don't-
work, don't do it.
And us
You know what I
fans,
mean?
we only see match day. This is what we need to remember as fans. Like, these managers and coaches see them every single day on the training ground.
See, but I'm very meticulous. I watch inside training and that for Liverpool.
Yeah,
I
But not
watch
many,
training
not many
sessions and all
people
that.
do
No,
that.
I watch all
And-
the training
but
sessions and
the
everything.
thing-
I do.
And most fans will just look at match day and be like, why has you chosen that team? You haven't seen them training all week. Like, the manager does normally know what they're doing.
There is that with it, but in the case of Chelsea, for example, with Kovacic, Jorginho, they were players that were there about 4 or 5 managers ago. And a lot of other clubs, big clubs, top clubs in England, their midfield changes or they get a new addition maybe every 2-3 years. They get someone to add in there. We didn't have that. We had the same midfield for about 5, 6, 7 years. It's just become
That's a long
stagnant.
time,
We
isn't it?
had 5 managers in a year,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Throwing it back to obviously Ramsgate manager. when you had him on 2 weeks ago, he said the way that they played last season, this season is going to be completely different.
Yeah, I've seen that already. Watching it,
Exactly,
literally.
So what's saying, getting a new players in, how the manager can then completely change it?
Change the style. Yeah.
You never know. It could
Football
work.
adapts all the time, doesn't it? That's the thing.
And that will lead me on to another point of mine, and that's pointless friendlies, pre-season friendlies.
Yeah.
Right. So Huddersfield had a friendly against a team I've never heard of. Not even in like national leagues, nothing. And they won 9-0. Is it pointless? What are you gaining out of this? Because at the end of the day, okay, you're gaining that experience to try things, but you need a little bit. You need a little bit, don't you?
Of competition.
A little bit of competition. 9-0. It's not about the goals. It's about, to me, I'd be more annoyed going to win 9-0 than losing 1-0 to a championship side in a...
You don't gain much experience from it unless he's just playing his reserves.
Also, maybe to get fitness up. Do you know what I mean? Break him in gently.
But you're not going to get...
You're going to gain a lot of fitness from a 9-0 win.
Because they're only going to be chasing you for an hour max, aren't they?
Over time, though, do you know what I mean? The whole journey of pre-season, you're getting your fitness up every week, aren't you? To get to the standard you want to be at.
I see what you're saying. I mean, it gives, obviously, smaller clubs a chance to play big clubs and it makes their fans happy. It might be something to do with that. I don't know. I'm not too sure on it, really.
Well, I that was just only one that I saw as I was looking through the other day. And
I found out the other day that Wrexham played America, USA Women's.
Really?
They beat them 13-0.
Jesus.
Wrexham won 13-0.
I saw that.
Wrexham are going places.
That actually happened.
Yeah, it happened,
That's
yeah.
reliable, is it?
It actually happened.
Wow. Equal pay.
They will be going places, Wrexham, though.
Cool. How do you think Luton will get on next season? Straight back down?
Straight back down.
I don't know. Look at Burnley. They stayed up, didn't they? Small clubs sometimes do well, and they've got that community feel. The fans will get behind them.
How do you want them to do?
I don't really care.
I think going back to saying...
I actually don't.
Until they beat you?
I don't.
We got
They
Declan
beat you and
Rice,
cost you
mate.
the league.
They won't beat us.
You can't believe, mate.
Going back to what you said, though, with Luton, I think it is a case of them first 10 games will decide their season. Do you know what I mean? If they can do okay in them 10 games, then they've got a good chance.
Yeah, if they lose 10 in a row, I think.
But they could
Was
find
it
out.
Derby? I can't listen to
Derby.
it.
They got the lowest 11 points.
11 points,
11 points it was. That's a bad. That's really bad.
Have you got any more? 'Cause
Yes, I've got a couple more. I'm running out of time, are we?
yeah.
We've spoke about this earlier. In the next 5 or 10 years, where do you think the Saudis will be in terms of player owning, club owning, and where do you think football will be in terms of in football? So, if they buy, I asked my old man this question. If they say, for example, with all the money and they want all the best players, they'll buy all the best players. So you're taking all the best players out of the Prem and they're all going over there for a stupid amount of money.
Yeah.
Is this a good thing to give the youngsters, academy players, a better opportunity to come through and for us to see these better players come through?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
That's the only positive that I can see out of it.
I don't think it will get that far. I don't think it will get that far where we'll have to start relying on our academy players.
Not relying on the academy players, but in terms of seeing the academy players more.
Yeah, but that's because you'll end up relying on them.
But they're worthy of this first team.
So the thing that worries me about Saudi Arabia is it's not stopping. Like when it was China, wasn't it, a few years ago, when players like Oscar and all that were going there, I was thinking, hang on a minute, what's going on here? But then it soon stopped. I think the Chinese government actually put a cap on
wages
and stuff, and that just stopped players going to China. I can't see this happening with Saudi Arabia. And that's the worrying thing.
They've got so much more money than China.
Yeah, it's not even close.
The investment in Saudi Arabia is like stupid in the amount of money. But what worries me about Saudi Arabia is they're not just attracting 37-year-olds. They're getting Ruben Neves, who's like, 27, 26?
In their peak. That's the one.
Who looks 47.
Yeah.
Benzema won Ballon d'Or last year.
Yeah, now he's over there.
Yeah.
They're getting young players. They're getting players under the age of 30. Going to what Carl said, with our academy players coming through to fill some of them voids and to see more of them. What's to say in 5 years' time, Saudi Arabia, or even 2 years' time, we're going to go academy player, 40 million transfer fee, 300 grand a week. Do you know what I mean?
Giving them the opportunity to play bigger football.
Yeah.
But would we ever get them back?
Aren't they mainly signing Muslims?
Mostly, but with a few
Jordan
exceptions.
No, Jordan. That's why I said mainly, not all. But most of them are Muslims that they're signing. I've
Few
noticed, and you
exceptions,
mentioned it last week. But there is a few that aren't, obviously.
Yeah, a few exceptions depending on the player, I guess, by case. But predominantly, they are going for Muslim players.
Yeah.
Just fits in with their culture better.
Right, have you got one more?
One more, and that is just going on to the England under-21s, how it wasn't televised. I completely disagree with how it wasn't televised, even if it like.
Do you want me to be completely honest with this? I didn't even know it was on.
No.
That's how badly it's advertised.
Exactly, and it should be.
I didn't even watch the final.
It should be a massive thing.
The only reason I knew England were playing, I knew they got to the final, but the only reason I knew that final took place was someone put in my Arsenal chat, what a double save at the end.
Yeah.
And I thought, England under-21 finals tonight. Like, I didn't even know. It's so bad.
And this would be.
If it was women's football, it'd be plastered everywhere, and everyone would know about it.
Their World Cup starts next week, doesn't it?
And we will know about it.
24. And should we be looking at getting some of them in the first team? Really?
Smith Rowe was playing when he just needs to stay fit. I've got an unpopular opinion with Arsenal fans with Smith Rowe. He is so good, so good.
I like him.
He
I
is
also
so
like
good.
Gibbs White.
Yeah, but with Smith Rowe, as an Arsenal point of view, I'm not doubting his ability, but he's always injured for months at a time. So my opinion is, if he's like that this season, if he's injured, get rid of him.
Yeah.
Cash in on him. And Arsenal fans going, I can't believe you're saying that. I'm not saying he's not good enough, but what's the point? It's like Kieran Tierney.
Yeah.
I love Kieran Tierney, but he's always injured. So get rid. What's the point?
It's like with, for example, Chelsea, same situation. Callum Hudson-Odoi, a couple of years ago, Bayern Munich offers 70 million for him, but now we're looking at selling him for 15 million to Fulham.
I think West Ham were
because of injuries,
at some point. At the beginning of last season or something like that.
It's mad.
He was linked to him, but anyway.
Right, last question. Where are you finishing this season?
I had this conversation with my old man again today, and I'm feeling 8th.
Yeah, with Europa League, you've got to bear that in mind. You're going to be playing a lot of games.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to come higher than we did this season. I feel like we're going to bond fairly well. 10th to 8th. 10th, 9th, 8th. That's where I'm feeling.
And you're running the Europa League, how far?
See, that all depends on the teams that drop out of the Champions League. This is what I'm going back to.
Go.
You could do really well, and then Juventus in it.
They're out.
Right, so Real Madrid, Barcelona, City could all drop out.
Yeah.
Likely they're not going to, but it could happen.
I think I'm going to go last 16 quarterfinals, I think.
Yeah.
But then if we come third in the group, depending on the group, if we come third in the group in Europa League, we'll win the conference again.
Yeah.
There you go. Over here first. All right, thanks, Carl.
No worries.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, buddy.